Have you ever wondered which countries are the most dangerous places to visit in the world? Well, wonder no more. In today's video, we'll take you on a journey to explore the 10 most dangerous countries in 2024. From war-torn regions to places plagued by crime and political instability, we'll uncover the harsh realities that make these destinations unsafe for travelers. Number 10. Mali. Mali is a country in West Africa that has been marked by a history of coups, conflicts, and social unrest. This has led to a fragile political situation, making it one of the most violent countries in the world for travelers. Terrorist organizations like Al-Qaeda and the Islamic State have a significant presence in Mali, particularly in the northern and central regions. They have attacked civilians and security forces, resulting in high levels of violence and instability. Mali also has a high crime rate, especially in the capital city of Bamako, with incidents such as armed robbery, theft, and carjacking happening frequently. Additionally, the country has significant landmines and unexploded ordnance, especially in the northern regions, which can be extremely dangerous for travelers. Number 9. Ukraine. Ukraine, located in Eastern Europe, is a nation caught in a geopolitical tug-of-war between the East and the West. The ongoing conflict in eastern Ukraine, which began in 2014, has increased tensions between Ukraine and Russia, with pro-Russian separatists seizing control of parts of Ukraine's Donetsk and Luhansk regions. This has led to a war that has claimed the lives of thousands of people and displaced millions more. Despite efforts to improve the situation, Ukraine remains politically unstable and corrupt, with a struggling economy. The country relies heavily on foreign aid and loans from the International Monetary Fund (IMF) to maintain its economy. Number 8. Russia. Russia, the world's largest country, is no stranger to danger. Its foreign policy is often characterized by aggression and power plays, such as the annexation of Crimea from Ukraine in 2014, which sparked international condemnation and sanctions against Russia. Russia has also been accused of meddling in foreign elections, including the 2016 U.S. presidential election. Domestically, Russia faces several challenges. Political dissent is often met with harsh repression, and the government has been accused of human rights abuses. Corruption is rampant, with bribery and embezzlement being significant issues in both the public and private sectors. The North Caucasus region of Russia is particularly volatile, with an Islamist insurgency and separatist movements posing significant security threats. Number 7. South Sudan. South Sudan became an independent nation on July 9, 2011, after a referendum was held in January. Despite initial optimism, the country has struggled to maintain stability since then. Ethnic tensions and political power struggles have exacerbated the situation, with President Salva Kiir and his former vice president, Riek Machar, being at odds since South Sudan's independence. Their power struggle escalated into a civil war, displacing millions of people and claiming thousands of lives. The humanitarian situation in South Sudan is dire, with famine and disease rampant throughout the country. The United Nations has declared a famine in some parts of the country, and more than 7 million people need humanitarian assistance. Armed groups have also targeted aid workers and journalists. Number 6. Libya. Libya is known as one of the most violent countries in the world, having struggled with political instability and civil war since the fall of Muammar Gaddafi in 2011. The country is currently divided between two rival governments: the Government of National Accord (GNA) in the capital city of Tripoli and the Libyan National Army (LNA) in the eastern city of Tobruk. The conflict has resulted in widespread violence, displacement of civilians, and a humanitarian crisis. Different armed groups and militias operate with impunity, aggravating security concerns. Extremist groups like ISIS have also exploited the power vacuum to carry out terrorist attacks and target civilians, adding to the instability and danger. Number 5. Iraq. Iraq has faced numerous challenges over the years due to war and conflict, making it a dangerous country to visit. The remnants of ISIS continue to pose a significant threat to Iraqi forces and civilians, despite being significantly weakened. Suicide bombings, assassinations, and sectarian violence are still prevalent in many parts of the country, creating a constant sense of danger for those living and visiting there. The conflict between the central government and the autonomous Kurdish region has also caused tensions to rise and has resulted in violence, making the situation even more precarious. Iraq's infrastructure has been severely damaged due to years of war and conflict, affecting essential services like healthcare, education, and public utilities. Number 4. Somalia. Somalia, a country plagued by lawlessness and anarchy for decades, has earned its reputation as one of the most dangerous countries in the world. Ravaged by civil war, famine, and piracy, it is a land where chaos reigns supreme. The militant group Al-Shabaab, an offshoot of the notorious Al-Qaeda, continues to sow terror throughout the nation, launching deadly attacks on both civilians and government forces. The absence of a stable government exacerbates the situation, with competing factions and clans vying for power. Rampant corruption and a lack of basic infrastructure only worsen the living conditions for the average Somali citizen. Number 3. Yemen. Yemen, located on the southern tip of the Arabian Peninsula, is widely regarded as one of the most dangerous countries to visit in the world. The country has been embroiled in a civil war since 2015, with various factions vying for government control. This has resulted in widespread violence, displacement, and a humanitarian crisis that has left millions of people in dire need of aid. In addition to the civil war, Yemen has seen a surge in criminal activity, including kidnappings and armed robberies, further adding to the danger visitors face. Powerful tribes in Yemen have a reputation for engaging in criminal activities such as looting and kidnapping, and they possess significant weaponry. Number 2. Syria. Syria is a country that has been devastated by ongoing conflict, making it one of the most violent countries in the world. Since the outbreak of civil war in 2011, the country has become a hotspot for violence and instability, with numerous armed factions vying for control of territory and resources. The latest catastrophic event to have occurred is the Turkey-Syria earthquake, which struck in February 2023, resulting in a devastating loss of life and significant damage to health facilities. The disaster has compounded the already dire humanitarian situation in Syria, with millions of Syrians in need of urgent humanitarian assistance. Those who venture into Syria, whether for humanitarian or journalistic purposes, face the constant threat of violence and kidnapping. Syria is among the world's most dangerous countries for journalists due to the lack of law and order and the absence of a functioning government. Number 1. Afghanistan. According to the Global Peace Index, Afghanistan has long been considered the most dangerous country in the world. The nation's tumultuous history, ongoing conflict, and high levels of violence have earned it this dubious distinction. The most alarming factor is the prevalence of extremist groups in the country, such as the Taliban, which has been waging a brutal insurgency against the Afghan government for over 2 decades. Other groups like ISIS and Al-Qaeda have also established a presence in the country, further adding to the instability. Afghanistan's level of danger is further highlighted by its significant crime rate, which reached 76.32% in 2023. The proliferation of armed groups and criminal gangs is a crucial factor contributing to these alarming figures. These groups are known to engage in illicit activities such as kidnapping, robbery, and extortion, targeting affluent Afghans and foreigners. Furthermore, the drug trade has also played a significant role in driving up the country's crime rate, as Afghanistan is the world's